Where does a young boy turn when his whole world suddenly disappears? What could change two brothers from an unstoppable team into a pair of bitterly estranged loners? How does the work of one middle-aged nurse reveal the scars of an entire community? And can anything heal the wounds caused by a century of loss and regret? I had the honor of reading Jeff Lemire's magnum opus, Essex County. Here's what I thought.
And now, a conversation piece. This is The Rundown.
Welcome back, everybody, to another exciting episode here at The Rundown, part of a week in Geekdom. I am your host, Giovanni Menendez, and yes, Essex County. I finally decided to read this. Actually, it was the last read of 2015. Literally, I read this an hour before the year ended. And yeah, because that's how I roll. I like to spend my New Year's Eves reading books. Who knows? But yeah, this book, back from 2011, it's essentially like one of the top reads of any Canadian author. And I was a little hesitant, I'll be honest with you guys, just because of the idea that this was such a huge slice of life book. I guess I should say this book was so engraved in the whole thing of Essex County per se, and that whole lifestyle from up in the border, you know, Canada and the northern states of the US and all that area, where I simply cannot, I thought I could not connect to it because of my geographical situation. I've never been in a position to say, hey, I've lived through some of those experiences. Hey, no, but this is a book, and a book is meant to be read by everybody. So yeah, after some persuasion from everybody at the Comic Swap group on Facebook, I went ahead and read Essex County, and what did I think of it? I thought the book was excellent in the fact that it does not require a lot of you, but at the same time, it does. I guess it's not for everybody. There are some shared life experiences, like growing with an estranged family member, or just the experiences that molds and shapes the dynamic of what a group or a family is. I think those are some of the themes, and probably a lot more. I've not even scratched the surface on this beautiful book. Jeff Lemire is a really accomplished author, but I guess, and like everybody else, this is his magnum opus, if you will. This is what made him a household name, and I did not read it. I read everything else, and then I went back and read this last year, and I can see why. There's a subtlety to the way that Lemire narrates this story through the use of visuals, and the characters are so rich and so detailed, but at the same time kind of awkward, goofy, and odd looking. But that is part of the charm of Essex County because of Lemire's cartoonish style. He is a cartoonist, after all. Now, some people want to read books because they look pretty, or especially comic books because they look pretty, and then the story comes second. I think this is a case where it just does not matter. It's obviously it's not a tour de force. You know, this isn't a Jim Lee style drawing, or Chichetto or Stephanie Rue or somebody like that. That's more visually appealing, if you will. But like I said, there's something so charming that if one of those other guys would have done this book, it would not have the same gusto, if you will. Obviously, I do not play hockey, nor do I care for hockey, nor will I ever care for hockey, because unfortunately, and I'm sorry for hockey fans, that's not something that is engraved in Puerto Ricans everywhere. Because coming from a subtropical, whatever, Caribbean climate, there's really no room for snow or cold, or just everything's hot and humid. And come December, it's chilly. It drops down to 70 degrees or 60 degrees Fahrenheit or something like that. Whatever. from your typical 80s and 90s. But regardless of that, there is a sportsmanship about it, the mentality that through sports you can share a passion with a friend, a loved one, teammates, all that stuff. That is right there, and I did get it because I love baseball. And really, in essence, sports have this unifying theme of competitiveness, of teamwork, of camaraderie, of just an overall sense of teamwork, I guess. Did I say that? Yeah. So in that regard, I get why this hockey is such a unifying theme throughout the whole book. Of course, it's 3 stories, and I'm not gonna precisely show everything, but you sort of get the theme here that to me, hockey in this is that unifying theme, that little backdrop that just ties everything almost together. There are a few short stories at the end where it doesn't really have to do with hockey or anything, but I thought it was excellently done. The characters are fantastic, and yeah, it's a story you better be prepared to feel some feelings, if you will. And I gotta say, it pulled some heartstrings while I was reading it, especially this second story with the old man, and that to me was just so heartbreaking. Seeing this person grow up in such a way and have such a difficult life, but at the same time rewarding, because he did get to do some of the things he always wanted to do, but at the same time he missed out on so many good things just because of drama and just really serious issues, if you know what I mean. And yeah, if you're gonna read Essex County, just be prepared for a book that's honest about its feelings. It doesn't require that you have an extensive knowledge of the area. I think Lemire brought a sense of cinematography, if you will, to the landscape. You get it. Once you start reading, you're in there and you start to feel the coldness, the bitterness of living in such an area. And Essex County really brings itself alive through those pages, in my opinion. And yeah, I gotta admit, by the end I was really moved. I really loved watching how every single page, every single character was so interconnected with everything, the whole thing, the whole story. Even the mini backstories at the end, they all had something to do with the overall arc about Essex County. And if I remember correctly, this is getting a TV adaptation soon. I couldn't be happier. I don't know how well it will translate, but at the same time, I think it's going to be great. It has such a varied amount of characters, and you see them here in the cover, and yeah, it's awesome. This book retails for about I think it was $29.95, but I was able to get it off from one of the naughty Amazon buyers, and that's a swap reference right there. I got it from Books FYI, which are, I've heard some horror stories from them, but I got it for 11 to 12 bucks. Yeah, 11 to 12 bucks, and it arrived in fairly great condition, just a little nick over here, but I'm not that OCD about books, and I don't mean it as an insult. I'm just saying, if I'm buying a brand new book, shrink wrapped, and it's damaged, I'll be pissed. But if I'm buying a used book and it comes with a few dings here and there, you get what you pay for, I guess. So I just wanted to read it, and honestly, it's just over here, so I'm not gonna nitpick about that. One thing I did want to mention before we wrap this up, the Crow. A Murder of Crows, that's what I thought. I thought all of these characters resembled crows in some shape or form, and I really liked the unifying theme that this bird was there watching it all, even though realistically it's not the same bird from antiquity all the way to the present story. Yeah, I just found it quirky that was like unifying theme, like a Greek chorus would announce things for the audience. But I appreciated that fact. And one of my favorite parts of the story was when the little boy was drawing his own comic book, which you'll see once you read it. I thought that was really endearing, really heartwarming. And yeah, again, the middle story, Ghost Stories. So you get 3 books, Tales from the Farm, Ghost Stories, and The Country Nurse, right? And the Essex County Boxing Club, Eddie Elephant Ears, Barnyard, The Sad and Lonely Life of Eddie Elephant Ears. Out of everything here, just Ghost Stories was my favorite, and the heart and soul of this book is in there. Yes, the first story is amazing. This coming-of-age story for this little kid that wants to be a superhero, who doesn't have a family with him, but once you find out his backstory and how it connects to everything else, and the pieces start falling in, you get this sweet, euphoric moment of holy crap, this is an awesome story. So folks, if you want to pick it up, you should do so. Amazon, eBay it, or hit your local comic book shop for all that cool stuff. I thought it was great, and yeah, you should definitely have this in your collection of books. So yeah, Essex County, I highly recommend it. It's awesome. If you want to follow me up on social media, you can do so. You can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, Periscope, Snapchat, Vine, and much more. Of course, you can like and subscribe to our videos below, and stay tuned because we've got some awesome content. We've hit past the 100 subscribers. That's pretty awesome. You can look for a special video in a couple of weeks that I'm making, and I'll announce it soon. So stay tuned for that. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I will catch all of you at a later times.
Thank you for tuning in to another installment. You can keep the conversation going through your favorite social media platform. You can like and subscribe to our YouTube page, follow us on Twitter, like our fan page on Facebook, and favorite our pics on Instagram. You can also write to us for feedback, suggestions, and such via aweekingeekdom@gmail.com. Until next time.
So folks, if you want to pick it up, you should do so. Amazon, eBay it, or hit your local comic